Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Thursday, but it ain't Thursday Tier Talk because it's an international break. So what that means is myself and my co-host Adazar, we're going to be talking pro wrestling for the evening. We're going to be taking a look at Survivor Series. We'll have a quick scan down through Full Gear and give our thoughts for our sins, Darren.
Full Gear, what's that?
Full Gear is you know when you're on steroids and you're doing a full cycle.
Right, that's Full Gear, is it?
That's Full Gear, yeah, absolutely. Few other bits to talk about. We're going to talk about Maven. We're talk about Wade Barrett. We're going to talk about Tommy Dreamer's had a few thoughts. Of course, we have to mention this man. His anniversary was the other day. Always very, very sad. Darren,
absolutely.
Give us your thoughts on Eddie in a minute. I just want to run down through the comments. Big up, Daz. Thanks for joining us tonight. Eno's in the house as well. Acers is in the house. Backlash. There you go. That's what you want.
Brought Eddie along for the ride.
Backlash in Paris. Tickets on sale in December. I've seen that. Absolutely.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Logan Paul also confirmed for Elimination Chamber in Perth. So that should be interesting as well.
Let's not talk about Backlash in Paris. Would you like to know why we're not going to talk about it?
Why?
Brody makes his communion on the 2nd of May. And the 4th of May is his party.
Okay. Oh, sure, that's the way it goes, isn't it?
That counts me out of Backlash. That's upsetting to say the least now.
Sure, what can you do, you know?
Because now an hour and 15-minute flight to Paris to suit me down to the ground, Niall. You know that, right?
Absolutely. Daz wants us to give some predictions for AEW, so we'll do that in a little while. No problem at all, Daz.
Sorry, Daz. I'm not doing any predictions for AEW. I prefer to look out into the
Well, you know what we'll do? I'll call out the matches. And you can give your predictions blind because I know you're not following it, and we'll see how it goes for the crack. Most of the guys you'll know. I don't know if you caught that. You obviously didn't catch Dynamite the other night, but it was hilarious to say the least.
I didn't.
It was hilarious to say the least, I have to say. Acers reckons only 2 titles changing. Talk to me then, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I did like the little nod to Eddie on SmackDown. Did you see it?
Yeah, very good.
I thought that was cool. Santos Escobar obviously leaving the building and stopping to look up at the truck, you know, and I just thought that was a nice little way of mentioning Eddie and stuff like that, you know, and keeping that memory alive. I kind of get the feeling we might be about to go down that sort of a route with Santos Escobar, you know, where he lies, cheats, and steals his way to maybe some sort of a title run. You know, I think that's obviously with the breakup, or you know, with what happened last week on SmackDown and stuff after the pay-per-view with Escobar. I think we can see the breakup of the LWO happening slowly, you know, and I'd love to see.
Glad I'm not the only one that doesn't watch that kids program. Graham, you would have enjoyed it the other night. You have to listen. If you get a chance later, go on YouTube and see can you find the Big Show spot. The Big Show spot was unbelievable. Now I have to say there was a spot on it as well where a guy had a guy up for a pile driver and jumped off the apron down through tables in a pile driver. I'm not liking that at all. That's a career ender, if nothing else.
I didn't watch it, but was John Moxley involved?
I don't think it was Moxley. I think it was Jericho, wasn't it? It was Jericho and someone else. I actually looked away, to be honest. Zane is in. Big up, Zane. How are you? Santos Escobar going full Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think you're right, Zane, and I'd love to see it. To be honest, I think hey Eric, I think Santos Escobar has a huge future in front of him. I think he's got a huge future in this industry, and I think going down that sort of Eddie Guerrero route could certainly put him on a path to glory, shall we say?
Yeah, and I think the Rey Mysterio stuff obviously is interesting as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's also Rey giving him the rub with him possibly making, you know, Eddie's legacy, you know, adding to Eddie's legacy with his own version of Latino heat and lie, cheat, and steal and stuff, you know, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see also as well. A lot of talk on this at the moment as well. Randy Orton, thanks to Sportskeeda, of course, for the graphic. Randy Orton.
You know what time it is, Niall?
It's prime time. Yeah, absolutely.
Prime time.
What was that one you got the other week when you were in with me? Was it the green and black one?
Yeah, it's called Glowberry.
Yeah, that's in all the Circle K's now for $3 just to let you know.
Now, do you think I don't know that?
No, I'm sure you do know, but I know last time when you got it, it wasn't $3 in Circle K. So
it wasn't, but I wasn't buying it, so it didn't make any odds. My
so
8-year-old was buying it.
Absolutely.
We can tell everybody at home he's paid $30 for 2 of them. And then last week I went over to the Circle K because I knew they were launching. And I was just after dropping my mum to the airport, and there's a Circle K coming out of the airport.
Yeah.
And I nipped in and I said to the girl, "Yeah, I need a Glowberry." And she says, "Glowberry?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "What is it?" I said, "It's the new flavour Prime." And she says, "No." She says, "I don't think we have it." I said, "Well, do you fancy going out the back and have a look?" Reluctantly, she walked out the back to get it. She came back with a brand new packet of it. She says, "Many would you like?" I said, "I'll take the pack, thanks very much."
Many was in the pack?
18.
Jesus. 54 bob straight into KSI's Foca.
Straight in. Now, I have to tell you,
very nice.
Glowberry is a sour apple flavour.
Yeah.
Tops. It's
is
tops.
It?
Oh,
nice.
It's great stuff. This one is a peach. Well, it's, sorry, pardon the pun. It's not a peach. It's strawberry and watermelon. I'm not a watermelon fan. This is outrageously good. You'll enjoy that now.
Yeah, Eric's saying, so while I'm happy that they've gone ahead with the Drew heel turn, I think it's a real shame that they didn't capitalise on him last year, as he probably never been as over as a babyface again. Agreed. Yeah, probably hence the change. Hence the change, I suppose.
I think his opportunity was Clash. We were there, Niall. You could feel it that night. He obviously got the throwback tune and stuff like that, and we thought, this is it. This is Drew McIntyre. Now, by the way, WWE did a really good job of leading us down that path, like we were going to see something that night, and we felt it, and we thought yes. And then all of a sudden, boom! Solo Sikoa jumps the barricade with the hoodie on, unveils himself. Like, they played a blinder. They played us like a cheap harmonica that night, pal. And we enjoyed every minute of it, by the way.
Zayn's looking for Dominic Mysterio to turn face soon. I don't want Dominic Mysterio to turn face. I'm loving Dom as a heel.
Love it.
Loving Dom.
Yeah.
I think Dom as a face is gonna. Do you remember when he was a face when he came in first and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and all, and no one really cared for it at all. He's electric as a heel, you know. We got to talk about it.
They don't need to turn Dominic Mysterio to a face. They have Ricochet for that.
Yeah, absolutely. What you make of this? The handshake. Speaking of handshakes, Drew and Rhea. What did you make of Balor's reaction in the ring to the handshake?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Now listen, I think he's going to be a great addition, but I do feel that the addition of McIntyre, even for War Games, will later on spell the end for somebody else. Be it Priest or Balor. I think it'll be Priest myself.
I think so.
That's the way I think it's going. But I gotta say, I'm looking forward to hopefully, as you said, with the Sport Key, the graphic we just had up of Randy Orton, of him possibly being the fifth man to come in and even the teams up for War Games. That'd be cool as well,
Yeah, Aces, Drew McIntyre is getting another opportunity for World Heavyweight Championship in December, either on Christmas Day or New Year's Day episode of Raw. I don't know. Is the Christmas Day one live, or is it recorded? I think it's recorded.
It depends on how it falls, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's recorded as far as I know.
So how do you feel about McIntyre maybe going in, right? And going up one-on-one with Rollins for the belt, and Rollins somehow nicking the match, as he usually does, stealing a pin somewhere, Drew absolutely upending him and taking the living daylights out of him, to leave the ring, and for then to see Priest make a beeline to that ring with that briefcase, cash in, take the belt, and Drew then have a real issue with that, and then all of a sudden you've got that turn and you've got, well, I had the briefcase and I had to do what I had to do, and that kind of way. Is that the way we see it going?
No, I think what they might do is they might go with Drew on the belt, so then everyone has gold. The way they want to complete that as always. And then I think, if anything, I think Priest might take the opportunity to get out of the Judgment Day by cashing in on Drew.
Okay.
And
which
what that does is,
I like, by the way.
and because Drew will be such a mammoth heel at that stage, it elevates them Priest into that babyface position, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does. Yeah, I like Priest, I must say.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah,
I think he's going to be really, really big in the coming years. I really do.
Yeah, I mentioned on the show as well last week that he's well thought of internally as well, because apparently he's had to work a lot of shows, with knocks and with injuries and stuff like that, and he's gone through it, and they're very impressed with him. So all good.
He's done an awful lot of stuff, as in, like, obviously when he did the Logan Paul. No, sorry, not the Logan Paul thing. The what's our friend from Puerto Rico called? Bad Bunny. He did the Bad Bunny thing where he obviously tag teamed with him, and then he had the feud with him. That went really, really well. Sold himself as a mega heel at that stage, like when he was in Puerto Rico going up against Bad Bunny. That was really heelish. Enjoyed that, I have to say. And but on the flip side, when he was going in with Bad Bunny, he was a big face. So he can play both sides of the coin here. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that, pal.
Yeah, absolutely.
He can play both sides of the coin here, which is something we really, really like in the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Priest's cashing in is going to be a failure. I don't think so. I think they'll want to use that to elevate him. I don't think they. Originally I thought it might go that way, because I thought it might be in a different scenario in relation to Balor and stuff like that. No, I don't think that's the case. I do not think that is the case. So
is there room to see? Obviously, this, you see the alliance here between Rhea and Drew. Let's say Drew did manage to win the belt, and let's say Priest tried to cash in against Drew and was ultimately foiled by Rhea. Does that then shove him out the door of the Judgment Day?
It could do all right. I mean, I suppose
and make him chase it a little bit, because we know they like to chase, right?
I suppose what you could do as well is, if Drew gets the belt and Rhea has the belt, you could go down the road of another kind of McMahon Hemsley era again. This could become the power couple, in the company and stuff like that, and all, which could be pretty cool as well. And just sort of treat the other members kind of, dare I say, nearly like lackeys to do the doggy work for them and stuff like that.
Yeah, a bit of neglect there, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what that does is it opens the opportunity as well for you to bin people off and bring people in at your will and stuff like that, if you want to elevate them and stuff. So I don't know. Ultimately, these will become the power couple in there, wouldn't you? Because you could see Balor's reaction the other night as well, and also it's
one thing I've got to say is, and I'm a big fan of this. We talked about it for a long time. How you hear people all the time, WWE should bring in the Bullet Club, the Bullet Club, the Bullet Club. They didn't need the Bullet Club. They created the Judgment Day. They created the Bloodline. And they create these factions. They had the Hurt Business at one stage. They've been able to create these sort of stables for themselves. The Shield, obviously, the Wyatt family, lots of stuff like this. Very generic stuff that didn't mean signing 2 or 3 guys from a rival company to just throw them in, and they weren't buying heat. They built it themselves. Huge respect for that, I have to say. Huge respect.
Yeah, I think it was more the case. Remember, say 2016 to 20, when the indie scene was red hot prior to COVID and stuff like that. No, I think that's when that was happening a lot. And what happened was, a lot of the members of it as well were becoming free agents and stuff like that. So they thought that's where they might trigger it. But I don't think that's something that they have to worry about now.
I gotta be honest.
Most people who are into it as well, when they see AJ Styles and Balor and people like that, and all, that they know about the Bullet Club, Cody and all that kind of thing, So it's nearly there without having to do it, really.
There's a whiff of indie darling off it as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really, it wouldn't sit very well with a lot of people if it was in the biggest company in the world, for my money. I think it has to be that kind of lower level indie scene where stuff they can kind of be a bit riskier with stuff and run stuff a bit closer to the line,
Yeah, and I suppose with WWE as well, WWE is a very clever company insofar as it's quite careful in the way it makes strides, and we're kind of what goes on over there in the States and stuff like that and all. Do you want a faction going around calling themselves the Bullet Club? It might be a bit kind of tender, let's say, you know what I mean? Now,
Absolutely. Well,
because
listen,
we're not in the attitude
do
era.
you
It's not DX
do you,
anymore, you know what I mean? It's not
do
like
you end up having to pull them off a Friday night SmackDown if there's just been a mass shooting at a mall in fucking Kansas City?
exactly,
You can't, so yeah. I
exactly.
think that's a great.
Yeah.
It's a great shout, man. I didn't think
Mm,
of it, but
yeah.
that's a great fucking shout, Noel.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked Ray's post there. 18 years ago today, he put on Instagram. It was Eddie and Dominic, of course. 18 years ago today, after your passing, I will forever continue to love you, miss you, and honor your memory. I have imagined so many times over and over how incredible it would be seeing you by Dominic's side in present moment. Imagine that. Imagine that after the history and stuff like that. But completely satisfied that he was by your side in 2005 before you left us is a
Yeah,
true blessing. Love and miss you. We meet you. Lovely post from Ray there and stuff like that on his Instagram.
yeah,
And what a
absolutely.
moment and what a picture. It's a picture kind of between that and the one with him and Benoit at 20 course. It's a picture that encapsulates everything about pro wrestling and the rise of guys who people for years felt would never make it and stuff like that and all, you know.
And don't forget, like the absolute whiff of Eddie Guerrero of Dominic Mysterio right now is
Oh,
phenomenal.
oh,
Like the way he
unreal.
walks, the way he talks, the way he carries himself. Like I don't know whether he'd be going down the line the paternity test, but like wouldn't be miles away. Even the bullet and everything. I just
Imagine him and Eddie now tagging as Los Guerreros or something like that.
unbelievable.
It'd be unreal, wouldn't
The
it?
heat
And
would be off the charts.
yeah, imagine Eddie's shenanigans and all and everything. We miss it so much. It's
And
mad
he
that
could have
that
he
fight that
could have
he
come
left.
in with the whole, I might not be your dad, but I know what you want, and do the whole. It would have been epic. Would have been
Yeah,
epic.
absolutely. Eric's in. Seems like McDonough becoming a full member of the Judgment Day could mean Priest days are numbered. Yeah, here
Even
I'm
though
all
even
over
though it was
that.
Priest getting the coat, getting the jacket right.
Yeah, turncoat.
Maybe.
So hard to believe that Ken Anderson was Eddie's last ever match on SmackDown. Yeah, and that he had qualified for Team SmackDown and never made the Survivor Series. There's so many layers to it. Want to get your thoughts on this one before we get into Survivor Series. Wade Barrett, I'm enjoying my time as a commentator more than I ever enjoyed my time in the ring.
Now, I'd like context to this. Does he mean just at WWE, or is he talking in general?
Well, he only ever commentated at WWE, so I presume it's WWE.
No, I don't mean that. What I mean is, I'm enjoying my time as a commentator, right? More than I ever enjoyed my time wrestling in WWE. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I suppose when you look back on it and you look back at Wade Barrett's career, he was involved in a lot of really good stuff. But I
Yeah.
don't think he ever hit the level that you would have expected him to hit. Like when you go back and look when he came in and Sheamus came in, and you look what Sheamus achieved compared to him, and the whole thing with the Nexus and then the core and all that kind of stuff, and then Bad News Barrett and all
Listen,
that kind of stuff and
the
all.
Nexus
It's
was the opportunity, wasn't it? That's the opportunity.
yeah,
The core
yeah.
was, it was like AEW. It
It's
was
just a
second
crap
rate
name as well,
garbage.
wasn't it? The core.
Second
It's
rate
just
garbage, like
yeah,
AEW.
yeah.
But
In fairness now, they didn't surround them with what they should have either. You know what I mean? Like
no, they
if you want to create a
But I mean,
group,
even when he went in with Rusev and wasn't it Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus in that League of Nations of Cesaro, whatever it was, like even that was poor, wasn't it? The way it was done, because they could have gone and got some proper heat.
he's just saying Sue Bennett only saying that because he never won World Championship. Hey, and listen, that's all right if you want to be honest. He's being like if he's calling it and he's being honest. Because I have to say, I love him as a commentator. He's quality.
I was watching something the other night. I was watching a Royal Rumble, and he arrived. He arrived to the Rumble as the Intercontinental Champion. Had the whole white strap on the Intercontinental belt and stuff. And he arrived out with, and it was only when I seen it, I went, this was an awful gimmick. He had this kind of a black cloak over him with a like a flower on the pocket of it, and when he came out, he popped the thing up in the air, and I'm like, what's menacing about that? Who thought that was, And like the bad news Barrett thing was terrible. Like that was really poor.
Do you know, I did like I liked some of it. I wasn't against it. What I thought
but it was very cringy.
I think it was, but I think at the time there was a lot of cringe going on in there, if you remember as well. But I think what happened was, I think the company got behind it for say about a month, and then they backed off it. I think they could have pushed it further. You know what I mean?
That would be like Vince, would it?
No, but I still thought for a while it was cool. I like Bad News Barrett and the way he used to come out and do the stuff and all. Like it kind of reminded me, that Bad News Barrett stuff was kind of like the List of Jericho kind of thing. It was that kind of thing. There's a little bit of cringe in there, but it's still entertaining, But I just felt with this guy, he was super talented and stuff like that, but he could never just find that niche or that moment that gave him that opportunity.
Also, don't forget, he did have quite a number of injuries.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I think anytime he got on any kind of a roll, all of a sudden the rug was pulled out from underneath him, and then it was very, very difficult for him to kind of keep climbing that ladder when he was injured every 20 minutes.
Yeah, don't think so. I think he'll probably go out on his own. I think I have a funny feeling that LWO stuff will just kind of melt away. I think as over the next number.
I think they'll keep it going for a little while because wasn't it selling really well in the merch?
Yeah, and I suppose it gives the other members kind of footing, if you like, and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe from that point of view, but
my issue is with it. We've seen so little of anybody other than Escobar and Ray.
Yeah,
like obviously Vega we seen at the thing in Puerto Rico, and then like when you talk about the other two boys, that's Joaquin and who's the other lad?
Don't know. I don't delve that far into it. Yeah, I don't delve that far. And I don't know. Is Carlito involved in it now? Is Carlito in there as well?
Came out a couple of weeks ago, but like the two lads that the tag team like have done nothing, absolutely nothing. So much so we don't even know their names. Like Joaquin is definitely one of them, but I can't think what the other deal's called.
Big up, Daz. Thanks for that. I have the Full Gear card here in front of me. I don't know whether I have it all, but I know they like to do about 35 million matches on a show and stuff like that.
Can you just show us that comment again?
This one?
I just sent you the Rampage and Collision and Full Gear card, Niall. Thanks, Daz. He needed toilet paper.
That sends me all the good stuff.
Stop that.
A lady that you might not recognise.
Well, I did because I saw it the other day, but I told you I've seen some. This girl's way out there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
This girl is way out there.
I'm not like this is a real. It's a very, very sad story, really, isn't it? This was a stunning, beautiful lady, and her life just turned left instead of turning right, or something like that.
Did you see the picture with her and Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
The new one where she looks like this and he's the bald guy with the cock eye.
Yeah. People are ruthless. But I think I think it's not looking good, is it? I think they're probably gonna do it as far as I know, and probably vehicular manslaughter and stuff like that and all, And now, based on the earlier stuff, it's probably a good idea maybe that she spends a bit of time out of the public. I mean, she unfortunately she killed someone.
I've seen her do a couple of lives. One of the lives I seen her do was with Rob Feinstein, and she did a live with Feinstein, and she had brought like pieces of ring gear in, and she was auctioning pieces of ring gear, and he was giving her the platform because she was obviously doing a signing while she was there as well, So he was making money, she was making money, everything was hunky dory. And then stuff started getting really weird. And then blokes wanted to buy items of clothing that she was wearing. And instead of being like, no, I've made, like, she'd sold gear for like a couple of $1,000, say, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody was like, can I buy your skirt? And she was like, no, like, I'm wearing my skirt. And then your man offered whatever amount of money, and she was like, you can have the skirt. And then somebody else was like, can I buy your bra? And she was like, no, I'm wearing my bra, whatever. And then again, some guy offered money and she went, you can have the bra. And while on camera, she did that thing where, she took off her bra underneath her jumper and took it off, dropped it on the table and started signing it. And you're like, this is fucking out the door crazy. This is mad weird. This all is going on. And of course, the other guy beside her is like, what the fuck is going on here? But she was way out there. Now, the two, herself and Feinstein, had a couple of drinks and it was all going off like there was some serious shenanigans going on. But you could just see like that her mind could go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was the worry,
Yeah. It's crazy stuff. Like, it's madness, and it's terrible, and you have to feel for the people who have gotten hurt on the way and stuff like that and all, and
Absolutely.
Sadly a man lost his life as well, didn't he, and all that kind of stuff, and also can't forget that either, What did you make of this? Maven talking the other day. I'm not sure whether he was on the cafe with Rene Dupree or whether he was on his own one, but he was talking about, apparently he was in the conversation to be a member of Evolution. What was your thoughts on Maven back then? What did you think of Maven? I was a big fan of Maven back then. I liked Maven.
No, you weren't.
I was 100%. I was all in on Maven. I thought he was super cool. I thought his mic work and his timing, I thought, was really, really good. And he had a real good look as well. And now I'm not saying he should have been in Evolution, but what I'm saying is,
well, like, he was obviously going to take Randy Orton's spot, right?
Unless they were going with five members, who knows?
I'd say he was in the shake-up for the Orton position, but didn't make the cut. And I think, looking back on it, they were right to pick Orton. Maven's a fucking bum.
You didn't like him. You didn't like him on the Tough Enoughs and stuff like that. No, no, I liked him. I actually share an opinion with Morris. Actually, if you check out Morris as well, we both talk about Maven quite a bit, and we talk about how we think the company actually missed an opportunity with Maven. That he had a lot going for him and stuff like that, and it's just a pity he didn't. It didn't work out, Just want to talk to you about one more, and then we'll get into the Survivor Series and stuff like that. What do you make of this? 2022, 52 matches. 2023, 11 matches. It's starting to, dare I say, grate on people now. And we're looking at a situation. Are we looking at a situation now potentially where, for a number of months, we're not going to have the key belt on SmackDown? And it looks like, I'm not too sure what the plan is at the moment for the United States belt either. I know he's out there and he's flaunting it and he's advertising it and he's promoting it and he's bringing it everywhere with him.
He's doing a great job, by the way.
Absolutely, 100%. Those pictures the other day in the shower and everything and all with it.
In the lab at the whole shoot match.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we spoke about this, didn't we, before he got the belt, and we said how them putting the belt on him would really elevate him and would elevate the belt. And I mean, where the belt has come from, I think this is a great idea. I think it was dying a little bit on Rey Mysterio, and I think this is, they're putting it up there now with the IC belt, because obviously Gunther carried that so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jindrak wasn't dropped by Vince McMahon immediately. He was actually featured and he was in the promos for Evolution as well. And the boys actually decided that he hadn't got the right attitude and stuff like that, but he wasn't dropped immediately. They'd actually shot a lot of those Evolution Titantrons and stuff like that. They have the original ones with Mark Jindrak as well that they had already shot, so they were big up on him coming in prior to his attitude going the wrong way. I think it was Flair and Triple H zoned in on it pretty quick and knew that a change had to be made, and that's when Orton came in. But they had planned him in there for a while. It wasn't immediately. That's a good question. What's next for Roman?
That's a tough one, Daz. I got to be honest.
I think the problem here is they're just trying to get to Philly as quick as they can, aren't they?
Yeah, and like you just can't. You can't just press a button and make 6 months go by, It has to be, you've got to go through every week and every month and stuff like that. It's tough, but it does look like we're kind of going to be left dangling in the wind a little bit with this for a couple of months anyway, until they can find a suitable successor to him, you know.
Yeah,
Who
it's
do
a
we
tough
think it's
one.
going to be?
Well, I suppose natural selection will tell you Cody, wouldn't it? They made a point there the other day, actually. I think on WrestleMania Night 1 is when he equals, I think, Hogan's record or beats Hogan's record. So I would imagine if that's the case, Roman's match is probably going to be on Night 2, unless the plan is for him to have 2 matches, Night 1 and Night 2, and dropping the belt on Night 2, which means he would beat Hogan's record by a day, I think.
It's
So
highly
maybe that's
unlikely
the
he's going
plan.
to wrestle both nights.
Well, see, the problem that you have Cody in the picture and you have LA Knight in the picture, and you have to figure out what way is this going to go, so but Cody had some good thoughts on it there. I was listening to Cody actually on Busted Open Radio there the other day with Mickey James and Mark Henry and all, and it was an interesting conversation how he spoke about how the Rock coming into the picture with Roman and stuff like that. And he spoke about how the Rock coming into the picture is fine and it elevates stuff and it's not an issue. And he understands how big the Rock is. But regardless of who gets involved, his time is coming. And it was cool. And it was a real good interview. Check it out. Busted Open Radio, folks. Really, really good. But well worth a watch, getting Cody's thoughts on things and stuff like that. And it's interesting to hear him and hear his journey back into WWE and stuff like that, and obviously getting the injury and how he dealt with that and how difficult it was, and that he was given the point. Listen, all roads lead to Cody Rhodes, I think. Anyway, so
he's been phenomenal. I have to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been phenomenal. I think I'm a big fan of him. I just think he's been awesome since he came back. I think he's really got the crowd behind him. I think a lot of what he does, I think he's very clever. Like I see constantly, I'm on a lot of the wrestling pages in the US and stuff. And when there's a live event or when there's a SmackDown or a Raw, the last person to leave the car park after all the autographs are signed is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely.
not a guy who gets in his car and toddled off like some of the other guys. He puts in the hard graft and he puts a lot of smiles on faces, and I think people are remembering that then when he gets to the ring and they're like, this is the guy that does what we want him to do. This is the guy, he's the face of this place. And I think it's clever.
Yeah, the good guy sometimes has to win out eventually, doesn't he?
I think so.
And I love that video. There was a video up there a week or two ago where the kid was there with a sign. Did you see it? And he asked Cody to follow him on TikTok or something like that. And he'd follow Cody back. And Cody met the kid and he brought the phone out and he followed him straight away. And the kid followed him back and all that. Like those kind of things. When you can connect with the audience that way,
and I think that's what he's doing really well. I think that's what he's doing really, really well.
And he actually, the funny thing? He made the point the other day, actually, on that interview on Busted Open Radio, which I was really impressed with, where he says, not only am I building for the now, but he says, I'm connecting with generation after generation after generation. And he says, that's what I'm trying to create. So it's pretty cool to see that, like, he has that great connection with us guys. He has that great connection with the younger kids. So he's kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like
the dots.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But he has everything. He has everything kind of hooked in there and connected right across the whole spectrum. So, which is pretty cool, and that's what he's trying to create. So, I really did like that. How do you feel the card is shaping up? What do you think? Who's going over onto? It's probably going to be Orton, isn't it?
I think so.
The talk is they were going to announce it, weren't they? Because they wanted to dampen down the CM Punk chat. Apparently,
yes, I heard that on the Friday night SmackDown. Before it, that's right. So I hear. It'll be interesting to see. Listen, I also think keeping it open and keeping the place open probably leaves people on a bit of a cliffhanger and leaves them wanting to know, and maybe they tune in. So I don't know if we'd be giving the game away on the Friday night, if I'm honest. Now, listen, whether he's part of War Games or not, I personally think we're still going to see CM Punk that night. And I've said this for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Acers is talking about, unfortunately, Cody Rhodes is supposed to be winning the Rumble match again, which is a joke that Gunther should be winning the Rumble match instead. I don't know. Look, Gunther's being unbelievable and stuff like that, but I think sometimes it comes that it's someone's time, and sometimes your own timing isn't there. Unfortunately, Punk won't be happening in Chicago because it's too obvious he'll be surprise entry in the Rumble match. Yeah, I read something about that today, that they're talking about working on something for the Rumble and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of talk. I seen he put up something on his Instagram yesterday. Did you see where he has the devil horns? And they're talking about this devil mask thing that's going on in AEW and stuff like that and all. So there's talk it might be him or it might be Britt Baker. I can't see a situation where CM Punk goes back to AEW and maintains any sense of credibility at all, even if it's a work on the fans and stuff like that and all. That would be just, yeah, I don't know. Eric, what do we think of who the person is under the devil mask? There you go. We just talked about it there now.
I did see something earlier on that Tony Khan is going to announce
That's right.
a new signing. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, it's this Saturday at Full Gear. Yeah, apparently the contract
is this Saturday at Full Gear, and that would possibly lead me to it maybe being the person under the mask, or no, I don't know.
I don't know, because there's the guess at the moment, I suppose. Who have they been interested in? They've been interested in Ryback. They've been interested in they were interested in Drew, but it's obviously not that.
It's absolutely not Ryback, because and if you read the caption, it's someone highly respected, which takes Ryback out of the question. I know who it is. We all know who it is.
So who do you reckon it is?
Well, when I saw the caption, it only described one person to me.
Okay. So who do you think it is?
Has to be Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, it could be, all right.
And I don't watch AEW. But when I read the caption earlier, again, as I said to you on the wrestling pages, and I read the thing and I went, this is a no-brainer, lads. This is obviously, Dolph Ziggler.
That's a great question.
Because he adds credibility.
Yeah, and I think Dolph going in there as well will be a great acquisition for them, because he's a great worker as well, you know what I mean? And it's and he also brings a profile with him as well, which is pretty cool. So
and that's why that reading that, I thought, wow, that's definitely.
Yeah, I think the signing. Yeah, I think Acers might be hitting it there. I think it's probably Mercedes Moné is the signing. I just think it is. I don't know. What do you think? Zayn's in. If you would have to choose one CM Punk or Randy Orton to return, so I presume that's Survivor Series for this match. If you were picking one, who would you pick? Who would you go with, Darren?
You'd have to go for Punk for the hometown pop, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and
like
see,
Orton,
I think you're
going to get a good pop, but like Punk in Chicago, come on, lads, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so. And I wonder what they do to switch on us. I wonder what they do Punk in Chicago, and what they do is hold off on Orton till the Rumble. Because I don't think Orton will want to come out there with his comeback on the same night and be overshadowed by Punk showing up. I don't think that would work.
I think it's highly unlikely they both show. We'll put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can understand that.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. Morris can't be the guy under the mask.
AEW's new son? Jesus.
Could be. It can't be O'Reilly or Strong. Can't be. Look, we know sometimes AEW does these things where they put these things out there and then they highly disappoint you and stuff like that. Yeah, but I can't see that being the case the way they built it. I think it's got to be Morris. 90-day no-compete clauses and Dolph Ziggler releasing WWE.
He'd be up by now, no?
Be up by now. Well, would it? Be close anyway, I'd say. Honestly say Randy. Eric reckons Randy. He's honestly saying Randy Orton. CM Punk makes more sense for Rumble, given it'll have been 10 years to the day since he left. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. Randy in Survivor Series. Yeah, I think it's going to be Randy. What did you make of what we have so far? What have we got so far? I mean, obviously Rhea versus Zoe Stark. What have you made of Zoe Stark?
Bit of a damn squib, isn't it?
Is it really? I don't know. I like Zoe Stark. I think there's a feisty, aggressive way to her work that I think probably creates better chemistry with Rhea than say Rhea with Raquel.
I just don't think it's believable is the problem. Like, I don't
Yeah,
believe Zoe
but we could
Stark
rattle
can
off the
beat
whole
Rhea.
roster nearly for that, couldn't we? Though, really,
No, because
there are
like
one or two.
Well, there's the thing. So then put her against the one or two, because like I can see Raquel Rodriguez beating her. I can't see Zoe Stark beating her. You've got to sell me. You've got to sell me shit that I can smell. And like, I can't smell.
Yeah, but
Zoe
see,
Stark.
again, I can't see Raquel because I think the matches she's had with Raquel haven't been that great. They've disappointed. There's been a lack of chemistry with them.
From a point of view and a physical point of view, you can see Raquel beating her before Zoe Stark because of how Raquel is built.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I just think Rhea Stark I think it will deliver and be a better match. I'm not necessarily saying, look, Rhea's not dropping the belt at Survivor Series anyway, that's for sure. And especially not with the Drew handshake and everything else that's going with the Judgment Day, that's not going to be the case. But I think Zoe Stark will give it a good go, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Randy in Survivor Series, yeah. Zayn's in. I mean, AEW showed Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole on the same night. They did.
Sorry.
And Zayn, tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what you thought about it as well.
Hang on just for a second. Is Zayn trying to say that Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole turned up on the same night? And we're saying that Punk and Orton can. Now, don't ever try and put Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole in the same sentence with Randy Orton and CM Punk. Go easy there now, Zayn.
I think it's just kind of like he's trying to say two guys can't show up. But I tell you one thing, and I'm a huge Adam Cole fan. Adam Cole AEW is definitely not Adam Cole NXT. Adam Cole NXT was an absolute superstar. Adam Cole AEW is a roster member, and it kills me to say it. Bryan Danielson is Bryan Danielson. We know that there's legacy and credibility and royalty there and stuff like that and all, but if you're talking about he's
a little small angry man, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think I don't think you could compare Bryan Danielson debuting on AEW to CM Punk coming out of Survivor Series in Chicago. It's not the same world at all. But I get the point where you could have two big names coming out on the same night. But I don't know whether Randy would want his return to be overshadowed by Punk, and especially with the general feeling internally about CM Punk as well. That was bootleg Make-A-Wish Road Warriors. Ian sent me a YouTube video there of World of Sport from a good few years ago, and it was Steven Regal, I think, was it, and Robbie Brookside and someone else versus the Road Warriors. I don't know whether I sent it on to you, Darren. These two lads came out as the Road Warriors. It was just. It was comical. Put it this way, it wasn't the Road Warriors, that's for sure. Kenny's in. Big old Kenny. Don't really watch AEW, but my guess for the Devil Mask is Jeff Hardy. Oh, good Lord. Not a bad shout, but good Lord.
Don't do it to us, please.
Adam Cole is MJF's next title defense at World's End, Saturday, December 30th from New York City. Stephen's in. Well, gents, how are you, Stephen? Hope you're enjoying the football downtime. Como's in. Dolph was released on the 21st of September. So then that's not going to be 90 days, I would think, based on basic maths.
It's about 60 odd, isn't it?
So it's potentially not going to be Dolph Ziggler. Again, pending, because you got to remember with some of these contracts as well, when they renewed them, there's talk that some of those 90-day no-competes weren't even put back in. So he may not have had the 90-day no-compete. Who knows?
And don't forget,
January.
Don't forget, and we know Daniel Bryan was able to get his contract cancelled by, or sorry, not Daniel Bryan, William Regal, by Vince. So what's stopping Dolph saying, listen, I've been a good servant. I was a good boy. I did what you asked me to do. Cut me some slack. Give me the contract early. Blah, blah, blah. I don't see Vince having a big problem with it.
I can see you and Stephen becoming close friends here. Daniel Bryan is an Aldi version of Macho Man, and then followed up with AEW is shite.
Stephen, we'll have a point sometime, pal.
Absolutely. O'Shane's in. What's up, Niall? How are you? Good to see you, O'Shane. And Aces, Undisputed Era is coming soon in AEW. Undisputed Era Aces will never come into AEW. Forget about that. It's not going to happen. You can throw all the boys together. You're not going to capture that brilliant moment, that run they had for 2 or 3 years in NXT was absolutely incredible. Incredible. And you will not. That was just magic in a bottle at that time. And that bottle got opened They flowed over to AEW and they left behind what was Undisputed Era. There's no doubt about it. You can put those guys back together. Let's be honest here. When the NWO get back together now, it's not quite the NWO. When DX get back together, it's not quite DX. These are moments in time. And Undisputed Era was unbelievable in NXT. Yeah. Actually, Sammy Guevara hasn't appeared since Wrestle Dream. Very unlikely, but who knows? Yeah, we're going to find out, aren't we? Darren, where do you get all of your Ultimate Editions? Where do you get your Ultimate Editions? You get mostly in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, I get a lot in the States, pal. I do a lot of buying and trading in the States. But I am moving some Ultimate Editions at the minute, Stephen. So if you'd like to send me a message, we can have a conversation if there's anything you're looking for in particular, pal.
Absolutely. And they're so cool. The boxes and all are so cool.
Yeah.
Could it be Goldberg or Dustin behind the mask? I don't think it's going to be Dustin.
I don't imagine the mask is somebody as big as a Goldberg or a Dustin, is it?
No, do you know what I loved actually? Again, busted open radio the other day with Cody. One of the things he said on it as well is that he wants to get Dustin into the Hall of Fame, which I thought was really cool. I like that. So they were talking about, Mark Henry was talking about Cody being a shoe-in Hall of Famer. And Cody turned around and says, I got to get the brother in there first, which I thought was really cool.
I like that
really
idea.
cool.
And I don't think any of us would argue with Goldust. The bizarre.
Bonkers is in. How are you, Bonkers? Good to see you. Mercedes Moné, Ronda Rousey, Goldberg for the signing. Mercedes Moné, I think. Has to be Mercedes Moné.
I don't imagine Goldberg going to AEW, do you?
Well, there has been talk of it. But
I don't imagine it.
They're talking about someone who
don't see Rousey, because she needs to understand straight away that you're going into the shittest women's division you've ever seen in your life, and like that's just going to be a real bad sell. Because again, who beats her ever?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. New Outsiders Ultimate Edition, so cool. Yeah, I've seen them. They look the business. Sure everything with figures is just space, isn't it? It's just space. Anyone going to WWE Belfast? No idea. Tickets have gone on sale, though, haven't they? The pre-sale is on at the moment. The official sale is tomorrow.
When's that?
I think it's November, isn't it? Sorry, not November. No, is it April tour? Is it? Or is it the one? It's not the one coming up because tickets only went on sale. It's April, I think it is.
I'm going to give Stephen a little tip here, yeah. If I was dying and I needed oxygen, and the only place to buy it was Ringside Collectibles, I'd die a happy fucking man, because I wouldn't buy off them boys. They are now.
Yeah. There you go.
You can clip that one and play for one of them.
Dustin will be at WrestleMania 40 for Cody Rhodes winning the Undisputed Championship. I certainly hope so. Ocean, €250 for super fan package. Good luck with that. April. That's what it is. Yeah.
What's in the super fan package? Second round. It's not bad.
Yeah, I think the super fan package. I think you get a. What do you get? Don't you get I think you get a pic. Don't you get a? You get an autograph picture or something like that. You get a kind of a goodie bag with a backpack, and then I think you're either first 3 or 4 rows or something like that, isn't there? Or something.
It's not bad, is it?
It's all right. It's not bad. Look. I just not too sure on them and stuff like that. Yeah. You get a mini. Oh, you get the mini belt. That's right. You get the mini belt, and I think they sign it in, don't they? And you get the poster. Yeah. Is it the poster that they sign, or it's the mini belt? I think 2 of them sign the mini belt.
We might need to do a belt reveal soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Might do a collector's corner soon. Actually, there's a bit there, all right.
Oh, I haven't bought that in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you make of this, Miz and Gunther?
Yeah, really enjoyed it, actually. Really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna really enjoy when it's Miz and DIY against the Tree Boys. That I really enjoy, because that's obviously the next phase of it, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously Ciampa's gonna say we're gonna bring Miz in, and then Gargano's gonna be like, we're not taking Miz in, and then the whole shooting match, and eventually they let him in, and I think that'd be cool. I got to be honest with you. Do we think Miz might take the belt here?
No. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be necessarily against it, but I don't see it.
I think he's done a really good job of selling it, Miz. A really good job of selling it. I don't know. I could see. I'm not saying it'll happen, but I could see Miz taking the belt possibly. That would be my listen. Zoe Stark ain't gonna take the belt off Rhea. There's nothing changing hands in War Games, unless somebody or something happens to Seth Rollins, and maybe Damian Priest tries to cash in. I don't know, but could we see? I'm trying to do all the maths in my head here, Niall. What do you think of this scenario, right? War Games happens, yeah?
The
5th member of the team is CM Punk, yeah?
Yeah.
Rollins is a bit hot and bothered about this because it's CM Punk and he doesn't get on with CM Punk, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it all looks like it's going down well, and the babyface team win. And at the end, Punk double crosses him, low blows him, something. And then all of a sudden, Priest cashes in and takes the belt on him.
I think it's a lot to butcher into a War Games.
And then he's cost Seth Rollins the title, and then it's him and Rollins then going, and you'll go Rumble, and then you might go another one, and then you might go your rubber at Mania or something. I don't know. I'm just,
I have a sneaky feeling of the War Games match and Randy dropping an RKO on Cody or Seth at the end or something like that out of nowhere.
Right.
That's that's what I can see happening. I don't see him. I don't see him going after Jay because I don't see where the payback would be in terms of where it would go and stuff like that. I think if Randy's coming back and stuff like that, he probably wants to inject himself into something pretty big. And I think he could either get involved in the Cody situation, or I could see him RKO out of nowhere, Seth maybe at the end of the match. Not too sure, but I don't think. I think there's only so many layers you can go, can't you, on a War Games match, because these boys are going to be battered to death in this match. So it doesn't leave a lot there really, I don't know. Maybe Punk comes out on the stage and pulls a pipe bomb or something like that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what way it goes. But
who knows?
Yeah, interesting. Let me know. Did you give your thoughts on Survivor Series? And then we'll talk about AEW. We'll run down through AEW in a bit as well. I was having a look back at some of the Survivor Series matches and stuff like that, of course. Did you pick out any of your favorites or any that you thought? Or
I was a huge fan of the early years of the Survivor Series elimination matches. That was my cup of tea. Now I gotta say, really enjoyed that. I watch a little bit of Survivor Series. Obviously, Survivor Series has given us the Undertaker as well. Don't forget, so it holds a special place in most of our hearts.
That's right, 1990.
Yeah, really, really huge fan of that. And I suppose the other thing that I was a fan of, but we haven't seen it for quite a while, was where we had those sort of strange bedfellows match. I don't already remember. We used to get tag team, or we used to get 8-man tags, and they'd be made up of, say, 2 heels and 2 faces on each of them. And there'd be stuff going on within the match, and guys not tagging guys and bits and pieces. It was really cool. They did it with Ahmed Johnson and Razor Ramon and Yokozuna, I think, and Dean Douglas one year and stuff like that. Was Shawn Michaels was in the match as well, and really, really cleverly done.
Demolition and Powers of Pain one, 1988, wasn't it? Was it 88?
No, I'm talking a bit later than that.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean.
It was more kind of mid to late 90s when we would have seen it, but really, really good stuff. Massive fan of the Survivor Series. Always loved the kind of holiday element of it. Now, I know at times they go a bit overboard with the gobbledygook and stuff like that, but it's a cool kind of a major. It's one of the 3 slams for me, or sorry, one of the 4 slams for me, and the OGs, they'll always be the big ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us your thoughts, folks, in the comments as well. What's your favorite Survivor Series match or favorite Survivor Series moment, of course? And don't forget as well, we dropped the From the Vault episode from our days in the Four Podmen. Myself, Ian, and Carl King Woe did a look back at Survivor Series 97, the Montreal screw job, which is their Acers is in the screw job. In terms of those Survivor Series, let me know kind of traditional Survivor Series matches. What are the ones that you like? Cool to see that. Oh, Shane, do they usually sign the stuff even if you don't buy the most expensive ticket? I think they'll probably listen. It depends how much you push it yourself on the day. Ian's going with a copy Gooker. Survivor Series 2001, WWF versus the Alliance was a great show. It was. It was a kind of it was a weird one though as well, wasn't it? But great show, Kenny. Great show.
I was also a small fan of the when we used to do SmackDown versus Raw. I liked that as well.
Yeah, Team SmackDown, Team Raw.
SmackDown, Team Raw was quite cool, and you'd have like 2 or 3 matches, and in the end, whoever won would get something and blah blah. I like that. That was cool as well. I like that idea.
Yeah, I was looking at some of them there. It's actually ranked number 4. Actually, they did a ranking here 1 to 25. Ranked at number 4. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown from 2016. Was an interesting.
Nose, right?
Yeah, but this was the men's one. This was the men's one. It looks kind of weird now, actually, when you look back on it, because you have the Bar, the Club, New Day, Big Cass, and Enzo and Primo and Epico clashed with the Usos, American Alpha, the Hype Bros, Breezango, Heath Slater, and Rhino. But that's ranked number 4 in people's. Three on this list is Team Cena versus Team Authority, Survivor Series 2014.
Sting.
Yeah. 2 is Bischoff versus Austin from 2003, Survivor Series.
Pretty good.
Again, a good one. Some good ones in that and all. And the number 1 is there's the show from Kenny there. Team WWF versus Team Alliance from 2001 is ranked the number 1 Survivor Series match, as in traditional Survivor Series match. I always felt that Team Alliance was a weird one, isn't it? Especially with the invasion and the alliance and all that kind of stuff. And you get that kind of mixed bag of WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, all that kind of thing, Like, let's go down. What was it? The WWE, Chris Jericho, Kane, The Big Show, The Rock, and The Undertaker. And then on the other side, then you had Booker T, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, Shane McMahon, and Steve Austin. That's some mixed bag, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But I was looking back at some. What was the other ones I was looking back at? Actually, I looked back at a good one there. Where was it? There was one. It was up. It was up fairly high on the rankings. Like there's 25 here. Team. Oh yeah, that's the one there, isn't it? Yeah, this one. Team Angle versus Team Lesnar from 2003. Where do you get a breakdown of these teams? Right? So you had on one side, you had Lesnar, Matt, these are powerhouses. Lesnar, Matt Morgan, Nathan Jones, A-Train, and The Big Show on one team. That's a lot of beef now, isn't it? That is a serious amount of beef.
No matter who they wrestled against, it must have looked like they were wrestling against 5 of the 7 dwarfs.
Now, they were wrestling against, obviously, then Team Angle was Bradshaw. If you remember Bradshaw, remember with the dyed blonde hair?
Yeah.
Weird looking. Bradshaw, Chris Benoit, Hardcore Holly, John Cena, and of course, Kurt Angle.
4 midgets. Mad.
When you think about it. I'm actually looking at the actual setup for the match here, the graphic. the beef on one side compared to the other side is
Have you got 2/3 of a scream at one team and 1/3 on the other? Like,
no, it's nicely evened up, but it's like Lesnar is standing at the front, and it's unbelievable. Lesnar is like nearly half the size of the poster, and the boys are all in behind him, and you've got Big Show and A-Train in the background who are absolute monsters.
Monsters,
yeah, unbelievable. Stevens in Survivor Series 2008 was tops, absolutely. Well, let's say I'm going back. I have to go back a bit here. Alliance, yeah. Stephen, I don't know how people sit down for a few hours to watch a pile of shite that they call AEW.
No idea, Stephen.
If AEW was a football player, it would be Phil Jones.
Stephen, as I say quite regularly, if they were wrestling in me backyard, I'd close the fucking curtains.
Yeah, they were as. They did at times as well. They did normal matches and stuff like that, but the classic Survivor Series are like my one. Obviously, the one I love is the switcheroo with the Powers of Pain and Demolition. I thought was a great match. Big Show was totally wrong. Fucking decision. Absolutely. Good Lord. Got a ringside ticket for OTT there. Big Show winning.
Playing gigs OTT?
Yeah, they did. They just did. They do the anniversary show there a week or two ago with John Moxley was on it, and now they have the they have a December show coming up, and Enzo Amore is on it.
And if you didn't have enough reasons not to go and watch it, now you have a fucking other.
I thought you were going to be silent for a little bit longer there, so we could hear that pin. Yeah. Mega Powers match with Hogan attack Slick. Absolutely. Classic stuff.
I gotta be honest, I don't believe Enzo Amore shows up for that to you.
I think he does if he's booked and he's paid. I think he would.
Well, listen, let's not believe that it hasn't happened before either, yeah?
Yeah. For me, War Games should be elimination, not start when everybody gets in. Yeah, I don't know.
That idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I liked as well. Remember the War Games they did with Pat McAfee and Adam Cole and all? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. It's not O'Shea. It's not.
No, I think he means that in a different way. I think it's very interesting, actually, in a weird kind of way. It's not necessarily in a buy a ticket kind of way, but in a weird kind of way. I
was thinking like.
Stone Cold versus Bret Hart.
Do we know who Enzo's gonna wrestle yet?
No, they wouldn't have released any of that yet. It'll be closer to the time because I think it's around. Is it the week before Christmas or something like that? And it's in the complex down in Smithfield as well. So they'll only be working on the card at the moment. I presume they're going to put him in there against someone like probably Sammy, or they'd probably put him in against Barry. Barry would make sense, I presume.
Barry?
Be cool. Would make sense because it'll be a gimmicky type match and all. You know what I mean? So
this indie wrestling's great crack, isn't it?
Absolutely. You'd imagine if the Alliance had have won. You can't imagine the Alliance would have won. Bonkers. His dad's gone down full gear. Not too sure. If AEW was a footballer, it would be Igor's. Jesus.
Yes.
I cannot stand them frauds that people call the Young Bucks.
Stephen, whisper in my ear, sweetheart, will you please?
Yeah, you get me, Noel. Yes, you get me, Noel. Absolutely.
Yeah,
see, that's what O'Shea's saying. He's saying interesting. That's what he meant. That he didn't mean actually.
Stephen, he started to talk over me there because somebody mentioned them too, and he knows I'm going to go on a rant now and talk about the two greatest shyhawks to ever set foot in a ring, be it squared, circled, or any other fucking shape. They are two absolute. Sorry, excuses for wrestlers, them two boys. They are an absolute abysmal tag team. They're even worse as singles. They should have been shot with balls around shite as kids. My God. They are terrible.
They're going through an interesting time in AEW at the moment, actually, because the boys haven't been doing a whole lot, the Bucks. And apparently they were offered a match and they weren't too au fait about it. And they were told, well, take the match or we've nothing else for you. Just saying. There's going to be changes coming there. Aces is not about a super kick party. Yeah, super kick party. Listen, quick rundown through AEW and then we'll do some history. I have some great history there for us for Survivor Series as well. So your main card, let us know in the chat as well, folks, who you're going for in this. The main event, MJF versus Jay White for the AEW World Championship, I think will be...
In the words of the great Stone Cold. What?
Absolutely. I
What?
kind of Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley. What am I looking? I tell you what I did like the other night, and I
On
have
the
to
list
say,
of abysmal wrestlers, let's just mention John Moxley and the Young Bucks. They are right at
I
the
do.
top
I
of a
remember it well.
steaming hot pile of shite. The
I
Young
remember
Bucks
it
and
well,
John
Kenny.
Moxley.
That generation, me, wasn't that when they were like when people were calling them the second coming of the Hardy Boys. That's when they'd been discussed back then and stuff like that. That generation me stuff. Which I have to say, back in Ring of Honor in the day was actually very, very popular. Very, very popular. Jericho and Omega
Ring of
beats the
Honor.
Bucks.
The indie darlings again.
Ring of Honor was very, very good back then. A lot of the good stuff you see in WWE over the last, I'd say, decade even. Owes a lot to Ring of Honor back then and stuff like that. Laid the groundwork for it and stuff like that. Remember, that's where Punk kind of came from. Ring of Honor. Don't forget that. Daz is going with Jay White. You reckon Jay White? Jay White for the win, Daz, or Jay White just to take the title? Yes, Daz.
Does he
John
play?
Moxley.
Cassidy. Does
Moxley.
Does your man Jay White play left back for Brighton?
No. Although based on the money, he probably wishes he does. MJF still your champ.
That was Ben White, wasn't it? He's at Arsenal now. Sorry,
yeah.
He's probably as good in the ring as fucking Jay White. Get a hobby, lads, will you? Jay White, stop that. Turn off the stage, will you? Don't be putting that stuff in your telly. You'll absolutely destroy the plasma in your TV or the LEDs in it. Putting that crap in your TV.
Bucks on SmackDown.
That's like watching kiddie porn, lads. You want to stop that shit? I'm telling you, can't be watching.
Love Jack Swagger and Ryback to return. You'd love Jack Swagger and Ryback to return to WWE. Interesting.
Do you know what I watched last night?
Go on.
I watched the Rumble where the last two in it were Cena and Ryback. How over was Ryback at that stage? Yeah. They missed a beat there, but they may have known what they were dealing with behind the scenes. Because let's be honest, we know he's a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic now. Our Ryback, isn't he?
Come on, saying after your show, I'm going to watch an awesome podcast on the network with Moxley. The guy can't have a proper conversation. Comedy gold. I'll tell you one thing. It was one of those episodes actually with Austin on the podcast where there was a number of uncomfortable silences through it.
That's Moxley all over.
Yeah.
There's a number of uncomfortable silences during his matches as well. Absolutely.
Stephen says 2013. I don't know. I have to say I like Jay White.
No, you don't.
No, I do. Look, I do. I have to put it out there. I do. I like some of the stuff Jay White.
That's the second time you
and I do like
tonight.
And I like MJF. I like MJF as well.
I like
no,
Maven.
but what I want is, how could you not like Maven? Back me up here in the chat, lads. Did you like Maven? Were you fans of Maven or not?
Fucking Maven's mother didn't fucking like him.
No, that's Benjamin's. You're getting confused.
Christ.
That's Shelton's.
Jesus, man. Jesus. Jay White.
I tell you a match I am looking forward to.
There's one wrestler in that whole AW locker room. Only one. And it's the boy MJF. He is top drawer. He is absolutely out of the top drawer. The rest of them are all has-beens, has-bags, or has-been. Like, unbelievable. Just an absolute joke of a place.
No, he wasn't wearing the mask, but he should have, because he stayed in character for the whole thing. He was 100% Dean Ambrose, checked out of WWE when he did that podcast. And I wondered if Vince did it on purpose. Send him down to Austin for a couple of hours.
Do you think Austin sat there thinking, keep it up, I'm going to break your jaw, pal?
I give you Maven, but Jay White is as useful as a handbrake on a canoe. Love it, Kenny. Love it. I think you're all. I'm gonna get you back on next Wednesday. I think you'll be impressed with MJF versus Jay White. I have to say. You have to give me Maven, don't you, Kenny? You have to give me Maven, don't you? Maven's all good. Right.
we'll be impressed with MJF, but never anything other. We'll be impressed with MJF, period. No JB. Fucking hell.
I have to say, Aces, anyone who eliminates Undertaker from anything is good in my book.
Yeah, Niall's not an Undertaker fan, lads. You should know that by now.
I know. I'm looking forward to Trios tag match on Hangman. Hangman versus Swerve, I think, could be good. There's some interest in them. There was a good promo on it there. Did you enjoy the promo the other night? It was pretty good.
Are you asking me?
2012 Rumble was great with Michael Cole, Lawler, and Booker.
Hold on now. So what you're telling me is we're getting the cowboy and the ghetto gangster, like?
He's not as cowboy as he was. He's not as cowboy as he was. We still won't appeal to you. Yeah, but loads of people wear flannel shirts. They're not necessarily cowboys.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be rocking a flannel shirt on Saturday night. I'm going to see Nirvana Unplugged in the stadium. Well, and I'll be wearing a flannel shirt.
If they're wearing a flannel shirt and they're not on the back of a horse, they're usually towing a caravan.
I told you, I got you off guard there.
Jesus. If they ain't towing a 40-foot caravan, they should be on the back of a horse. My horse is outside. Get up out of that.
Have to go, folks. Big up, Eric. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
I felt like leaving when we started talking about AEW as well, pal.
Sting should be in a nursing home. Absolutely. I don't know what's going on with Sting. Crazy. It didn't Swerve used to be in WWE, did you? Yeah, he was in there, absolutely. And was very good, actually. Prince Nana Swerve dance is comedy gold. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get into some history. Just have to change over my slides.
I can't wait till AEW's history have with that one. And we talk about it fondly like WCW, ECW, or NWA. Guess what?
Absolutely.
I remember a time when. No, get out of here, will you? Fucking stick the.
What's that show they do on the network? Do you remember when wrestling was awesome? Did you ever watch that on the network? No. They have a show called This Is Awesome, and it goes back and looks at stuff. The intro to it is brilliant. Do you remember when it got you out of your seat and wrestling was awesome?
I might watch an episode of that tonight. I'm going to put something on now in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. That wimp Darby Allin is as useless as Anne Frank's drum kit. Gone mad. Dazzler, did you order new AWA CM Punk figure? AWA, it'd be AEW, wouldn't it? AWA.
Yeah, he's gone for a typo, I'd say.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
I haven't.
I was thinking CM Punk in the AWA. Not a chance.
I definitely don't need an AEW Punk figure.
Let's get some history here. 1993, ECW held their first ever November to Remember live event in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The main event was a winner-take-all match featuring the ECW heavyweight champion Sabu and Road Warrior Hawk taking on the team of television champion Terry Funk and King Kong Bundy. That's a heck of a match now, isn't it? We're talking there a bit of history in that.
Sorry to cut you off. You know, I told you I've been watching Royal Rumble all week, yeah?
Yeah.
And one of the ones I watched the other night, I was telling you how abysmal it was. Stone Cold came into the ring and he was beating up one of the head bashers, you know, and Mosh or Trasher, whichever one it was, the headbangers. And Austin says something to him in his ear, and your man, the head Trasher, keeps wetting himself laughing, yeah. And but at the start of that match, it was Chainsaw Charlie versus Cactus Jack. Oh my God. If there's ever 8.5 minutes of my life I'm not going to get back, it's that. It was fucking terrible. Absolutely dreadful. Abysmal. My word. And he had the tights over his face. And then every couple of minutes he'd take the tights off. And then he'd pull them back down in a few minutes. And his big arse is waddling around the ring like he's going slower than a camel on a bleeding horn. It's just like, oh my God, man, what are you doing? It was terrible. It was terrible. And there was people there cheering. You're like, what if these people got their lives? If this is what they're getting behind, like, come on. Maybe Donald was right. Let's make America great again, because that ain't great.
Anyway, 2005, of course, we mentioned it earlier with a slide. One of the most beloved stars in wrestling history, Eddie Guerrero, passed away in a hotel room in Minnesota at the age of 38. The cause of death, of course, acute heart failure. Very, very sad that we lost him.
Sorry, listen, sorry. We're all Eddie fans and stuff like that. But acute heart failure. Don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad. Yeah, let's not sugarcoat things with. An autopsy said he died of a heart attack. He died because he was out of his fucking bicky, right? So let's not sugarcoat things. But people think it's cool to do drugs, and it's not. Drugs are for losers.
Now, 2005, a show that I was at, actually, TNA Genesis, was held in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. On the show, Christian Cage debuted. It was his first night in TNA.
Really upset me tonight.
Why? What's wrong with you?
What are you doing going to a fucking TNA show, man?
It was free, and I was in Florida. You used to have it in Universal Studios.
Free.
Yeah, it was free. It was always free in. The first 900 people always got free into the Impact Zone. Did you not know
Are you surprised?
TNA from 2005. TNA from 2005 to 2008 was electric.
The asylum.
2005 to 2008 in TNA was unbelievable.
Stop.
I'm telling you, man, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. You'll be surprised. It's not AEW levels. It was really, really good.
Will I get it on my VHS?
No, they were post VHS. It would be DVD.
DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, straight to DVD. No Blu-ray. Just straight to DVD.
Blu-ray?
No. Blu-ray was for the big companies.
No Blu-ray.
No.
You want Blu-ray? 2000. Diamond.
What's Blu-ray? 2006, Monday Night Raw was held in Manchester, England. Jeff Hardy won the Intercontinental Championship after pinning Johnny Nitro in the main event. There you go. Title change in Manchester, England. There you go. 1999, WWE Survivor Series was held in the Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan, and saw the pay-per-view debut of Olympic champion Kurt Angle. You suck. Kurt, what a man. Yeah,
really,
2004.
Really nice guy, by the way. I told you I met him at one of the road shows. Really cool guy. Really down to earth, really nice and really humble to everybody. He was genuinely very happy that there was so many people there and stuff like that. It was nice. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching the Rumble match on Sky Sports and breaking out laughing so much at 3 a.m. Stephen's in. Did any of you get the new Chainsaw Charlie figure? It's awesome.
I didn't, Stephen.
I got it. I've
wasted enough money in my time. I wasn't wasting it on a fucking Chainsaw Charlie.
I bought it when
sale.
Yeah, I got it when it was on sale.
How much you pay? $5.99?
No, I think it was a tenner, wasn't it? Because it's an elite. It was a tenner. I don't think they go they don't rarely go below a tenner for the elites normally, even when they're
well, we know that's not true.
Yeah, sometimes.
We know
might try my luck with that Hulk Hogan or Terry Bollea mustache. Stephen, I love the Biss versus Foley hardcore match. That stuff was brutal. You're falling away now a bit now.
You hit the nail on the head all right there. Brutal.
That's what they have put a member of Aces and Eights history on YouTube. I wouldn't necessarily be mad about the Aces and Eights times. It's not the worst, but I wouldn't be mad about that. But I was a big fan of the X Division and the Ultimate X matches, and I loved the concept of Lockdown as well. All steel cage matches and stuff like that on a pay-per-view, which was really, really cool. So, but some of those Ultimate X matches and stuff like that were unbelievable.
Isn't that very gimmicky?
It is very gimmicky, but remember, they had a 6-sided ring as well, and they were trying to be different. Remember, most of TNA's downfall was when they went to the traditional 4-sided ring and they gave the reins of the horse to Hogan and Bischoff. But prior to that, they were really, really good, and they had some fantastic talent in there as well. It was unreal. I paid $12 for mine, in around that sort of, Out of respect, of course, for Terry Funk as well. Look in my eyes, what do you see?
You had a good weekend anyway.
Big up, Eno. Good to
That's
see
what
you,
I'd see,
pal.
pal.
Only female elites go below a tenner because no one wants them. Not entirely true.
That's not entirely true.
Not entirely true. You'd be doing well to get below a tenner for a Rhea Ripley elite or whatever.
Absolutely.
All TNA pay-per-views on YouTube channel. There's some good stuff in there. I'm telling you, there is good stuff in there.
Sorry, lads, I have the network. I don't need to dabble in this shit.
TNA and all that X Factor nonsense was just that nonsense.
Thanks, Ian. Absolutely, pal.
Got a Kane 8x10 and a Wrestle Crate. Absolutely chuffed. Also got the Sabu and Ken Shamrock 8x10. Not my cup of tea.
Nice.
I don't know. Interesting. Screwjob personality. There you go. Where are we? 2005, an emotional Monday Night Raw paid tribute to Eddie Guerrero, who sadly died the previous night in a hotel room in Minneapolis. 2015, WWE.
Niall, how did he die?
Acute heart failure. I have to stick to facts. 2015, WWE Hall of Famer Nick Bockwinkel passed away at the age of 80.
Was he doing coke in his room as well?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Oh, right. Okay.
Can't imagine you doing coke in your room at the age of 80. 2017, in her namesake town in North Carolina, Charlotte Flair defeated Natalya to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. 2005.
Now there's a girl. Come on, Charlotte. We love Charlotte, don't we?
Did you see Natalya in the Zack Ryder gear? You see the video of Natalya? Yeah, she's dressed up in all the Zack Ryder gear, and she's backstage at a show or something like that because she's
very good.
I think she's feuding with Chelsea Green at the moment. So she was in the Zack Ryder gear, got the hair on and the music and all going. She put a TikTok up on it.
You saw the thing about the long-term storytelling, did you?
Yeah.
How she's standing at the SmackDown thing, she has her hand on Ryder's nuts.
Yeah, she has him. Yeah. They're going back and forth in this classic. He actually under the one that she put up where she's in this gear, he put a comment above it and he retweeted, I think, saying, "I'm looking for royalties for this." It's really cool. Do you remember the comedy skit they done with us?
I'm a big fan of Chelsea Green.
Yeah, she's doing well. Acer's personality.
Yeah.
80 is the perfect age for coke in her room, lads, to be fair. About that. Brett Screw, Brett, yeah, absolutely. We got the Brett Screw, Brett stuff as well. Henry's in. Big up, Henry. What's the crack now? That's all good,
Henry,
my
good
friend.
to see you, pal.
Thank you. Does anyone remember Jack Tunney? We do remember Jack Tunney, absolutely.
You know, as I said, I've been watching Royal Rumbles all week, and we got to, I'm going to say it was about 95, and it was where Brett and Lex went over the top together. And Jack Tunney had to come out and sort it out, and they were dual winners, if you remember. They both got a shot at WrestleMania 10. And Luger obviously lost the first match to Yokozuna, and then Brett beat him in the second match, and Luger came out, put him on his shoulders and all, and gave the big I am. And, you know, hard to believe looking at Luger, like in the physical condition he was in and stuff like that. And you look at him now, you're like, wow, fucking hell.
I met him 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was, and got some stuff signed, and man, it was heartbreaking to see him.
It was the first thing I thought of and went, wow, this is heartbreaking.
Yeah, tough. It's tougher even in real life when you see him.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I would imagine so.
I put into the history here, especially for you, 1996 Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden in New York. Would you remember why I put it in there for you?
1996 Madison Square Garden in New York. I know.
Go on.
The debut of Rocky Maivia.
Spot on. Had that in there. I read that the other day and I said, Darren's on the show. We have to put that in. Project Rock, baby. Project Rock.
Project Rock.
And of course,
do you know what I love? I don't know whether you've seen much of it, because I know you're a huge social media fan. But have you seen him do the drive-bys to the Hollywood buses?
Yes.
The VIP tours, and he pulls up next to him and he goes, "Anyone know where the Rock's house is?"
Yeah. He was on the Rogan podcast. He was on the Rogan podcast, yeah. I think he was on the Rogan podcast this week. Some interesting stuff. He was talking about Rocky Maivia And he was talking about the whole move from babyface to heel and all the challenges that he faced and stuff like that. It was interesting to listen to.
Well, you know, we watched last night.
Go on, yeah.
Last night we watched Punk versus
Jack Tony.
We watched Punk versus Rock for the belt. Rock winning the belt where he's sitting on the ground and Vince comes out and the Shield after putting him through the table and stuff at the Royal Rumble. And Punk's like, no. It ain't going to end like this. You're not going to take it. I'm going to take it. Deadly. Deadly. Love that.
The last old pay-per-view I watched was Royal Rumble 92 a week ago. Mountie versus Piper. Got excited winning the Intercontinental. Yeah, great show. Big up bonkers like that. Too much of the same thing, Daz, but thanks for asking. They need to make a Jack Tunney figure. I'd buy 10 of them.
Stephen,
they did do one, didn't they?
No, but
they haven't done a Jack Tunney figure.
No, but you know what they will do if they're clever? They'll do Jack Tunney build a figure because that ropes you into buying the floor, right?
Still wouldn't rope me in because I'm never going to open them to build it. So I need a Jack Tunney figure.
But you have all four. You have all four wrestlers and the 4 pieces to make the 5th one, so you're getting an extra one free.
That's like
yeah, I'm going through them all at the minute.
It's one hell of a drug. This is the second week we've gone sort of into dark
sideways.
Dare I say hard times. Hard times, baby. 1997 on the same Raw show, Vince McMahon sat down with Jim Ross to talk about the Montreal screw job and gave us his now famous Brett Screwed Brett, of course. Synonymous with wrestling now. Where am I going to go? 2012. Is it 2012 Survivor Series held in Indianapolis? The main event of the night was WWE Champion CM Punk defending his belt in a triple threat match against John Cena and Ryback. This was the one where Ryback was attacked by the Shield. Remember, the Shield came out dressed in the black and put him through the announcer's table, didn't they? Stuff like that. So, yeah, that's it. That's most I have there in history and stuff like that. I'll give you some notable birthdays, starting off, of course, with Big Daddy, 1930. L.A. Parker, 1965. Matt Bloom, 1972. Kalisto, 1986. And, of course, Tegan Knox, 1994. And we rounded out, of course, with one I spoke to you yesterday about, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, 1952. Yeah. Of course, what a way to round out the show with the Macho Man's birthday. Let me plug through a few comments here, and then we'll bid you all adieu. You should try and get Jamie on a wrestling show again. Well, I will. He's flat out, Daz. Do you ever see the amount of stuff he's doing at the moment? I'd love to get him back on. Just finished Rogan podcast, was fantastic. It was, Ian, wasn't it? It was really good. And it was an interesting dynamic there as well, because Rogan had been talking about how this guy is eating all the drugs. Remember, they had that conversation a good few months ago. They were talking about The Rock, and they had one of the guys on one of these he's like a kind of an influencer on social media talking about bodybuilding and training, all that kind of stuff. And they were talking about The Rock. And Rogan made the point. He says, that lad leaves nothing on the table. He's eating it all. He says, you don't look like that. He says, and he showed pictures of The Rock back when he was kind of, remember, softer when he was wrestling to now. And they go, you don't go from that to that by just eating spinach or something like that. It was mad. Keith saying, what's the crack, lads? Do you think we will get The Rock in the Hall of Fame next year or the year after? He would have to go in at some stage in the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, it'd be a big one, all right. They did the dad and stuff like that and all. And yeah, it'd be cool. And you know, it'd be pretty cool. Who inducts him, lads? Who would you think inducts him?
Austin,
maybe, yeah. Roman?
No.
Roman would be kind of cool, I think.
No. No, I think it's got to be Austin, doesn't it?
Foley?
It's not for the box office, is it? Plus, he's going to come out looking like a homeless motherfucker, isn't he?
Yeah, true.
And then all of a sudden, like, you know, well, thanks, Mick, for watching this week. Like, you know, it becomes a bit of a gimmick. Like, nah, I don't like that idea. It's got to be Austin.
I watched Survivor Series 92 the other night. Anyone remember the first meeting of two future rivals? First meeting of two future
92.
Rivals. I presume it was Sean and Brett, no?
No, I don't think so.
I think it was.
I don't think so. What match was that?
Were they not involved on... Were they not involved? I think... I'm nearly sure it was. Put us out of our misery, Ian. What was it? I'm nearly sure it was.
Did they wrestle in a traditional match?
Anyone remember Lord Alfred Hayes? Absolutely.
Sure do.
Darren, do you have the Mean Gene Mania Build-A-Figure set? He does.
You bet I do.
Absolutely. Ushin's in. Great show as usual. Cheers, Ushin. Appreciate it. Morris is in. Just dropping to say hi, gents. Off to interview a well. Niall knows. Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be electric. All right, Morris. Hi, as I'm off to the dam. He's off to Amsterdam for the Ireland game. Morris, enjoy all the prostitutes and weed shops. Morris is a happily. All right, Morris.
See if you can bang a muffin.
Happy Kane and Shane anniversary. Yeah, happy Kane and Shane. There you go, Brett and Sean. Called it. Boom. There you go. The older you get. It's not true. There you go. Team Austin versus Bischoff 2003. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. That was pretty cool. Henry, but I wanted to give your video a like, Niall, before I go to bed. Appreciate that, Henry. Always appreciate the support. Sean versus Brett, WWF title 92. There you go. Good night all. And then Daz, see you, Henry. There you go. That's it, my friend. That's it. Another show on the bag. Next week we'll be back. I think we're probably going to do. We'll be doing a Thursday tier talk, won't we, on the Thursday? Because Premier League will be back next weekend.
I can feel it in my bones.
So next week, what I'll probably do is a quick look back. You'll probably be delighted you won't be here then. A quick look back at Full Gear.
You're looking back at something? Oh, no.
I'll look back at Full Gear for my sins. Yokozuna, WWF pay-per-view debut 1992. That's right. Survivor Series 92 as well, yeah. Have they replaced the traditional Survivor Series elimination match with War Games now? I like War Games, but you can't beat the traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, yeah.
Yeah, they've adopted it for the next couple of editions of Survivor Series, apparently.
We will be doing absolutely a city preview, Acers. That will be happening at some stage next week as well. I'm on Monday as well. Actually, Monday. We are lunchtime kickoff. We're the 12:30 game for a change. Yeah. Do you want to know something? Do you want to know something else? We're playing City at 12:30 in the Etihad, right, on Saturday. Right. Alison Becker doesn't arrive back from international duty until Friday night. Make sense. Isn't it? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Are you going to the New Zealand game, Darren? That must be a Jew.
I sure hope so.
There you go. So then Monday, I'm on with Marky on Monday, and we're going to be doing a wrestling show again. Have to come up with a kind of a concept for Marky. I want to get Marky's thoughts on Survivor Series and stuff like that as well. Marky, as you know, is a big wrestling fan as well. His favorite, of course, is the Honky Tonk Man.
I was going to say Baby Elvis, the Honky Tonk, yeah.
There you go. So he'll be on Monday, and we'll be chatting all things wrestling. Wednesday, I'll do Pro Wrestling Weekly as we normally do it. Thursday, I'll be back with Thursday Tier Talk with Darren, Beat the Bookie, all that kind of good stuff, Premier League preview. And Friday, I'll probably do the preview for the Man City game. That's going to be a schedule for next week, folks. Not a lot going on over the weekend. Probably drop a few more shorts. Did a few today. Short videos, I should say. Not drop my shorts all weekend.
Yeah.
Just
in case people shorts into you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might need to do that if you're going to watch Full Gear or Full whatever it is. Yeah, I was going to go a different direction, and I thought
I might need to take Eno's voice and go on the bag just to get through it.
Wait, you're 80
on Sky Dazzler Saturday dinner time. Yeah, Saturday dinner time. Yeah, we call that over here, Daz. We call that lunchtime. Dinner time for us is another meal. Me and Darren are big lads. We squeeze in as many meals as we can. Dinner time for me and Darren is it's kind of later at times. But it wouldn't be lunchtime. If you think about it, wrestling has really gotten to shite. Stephen, you're not helping me. It's not that bad, Stephen, is it?
No, not at the minute, it's not.
Well, no. It's here. We've gone through worse.
Other than WWE, maybe. You might be right.
Go back and try and go through the ruthless aggression era without being a kid. See how you feel about it. Great show, lads. Got to hit the hay as we are now over now. Big up, Eno. Thanks for joining us. Acers Holland will have Allison in his sights. I'm sure he will if he's coming back in time. As always, folks, pleasure. Please subscribe to the channel, share the content, hit a like, hit the bell notification, of course. Spread the word. We got a great show going here at the moment with the wrestling midweek and stuff like that, plus all the football shows. So make sure you're letting everyone know about it. Make sure you're following us on all the socials as well, and also checking out the audio shows on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And we will be back with you real soon. Cheers, folks. Cheers, pal.
Thanks, brother.